good morning, friends of cycling all over the world. This is Ingo from BicycleBeyond. How are you doing today? Over the years, many people asked me, Ingo, is cycling in South Africa safe? Road cycling, is it really doable? I can only say 100%. You can come and have no issues whatsoever. I cycled quite a few thousand kilometers here in South Africa, so I gathered a few points for you. I think 15 points should be enough for the beginning to make your experience here in South Africa, your cycle adventure, safe and joyful. Obviously these points, tips, advices, they're all based on my personal experience. Disclaimer, always use a bit of common sense along with these points and then you will be fine. Without further ado, let's start with point number 1. Keep left at all times. So obviously when you come from the UK, Australia, New Zealand, you're used to driving on the left side. If you're from US, Germany, many other countries, most countries usually drive on the right side, so you need to get used to that. So first before you do a big ride, do a little exercise, see if you can handle that. Yeah, keep left, don't cycle in the middle of the road. You just annoy the motorists and they usually don't like that very much. Again, number 1, keep left. The lovely beach, Melkbos Strand. Look at that. It's early, 7 o'clock in the morning. Number 2, the famous cat eyes. They love them in South Africa. The road department, Minister of Transport, he must love these cat eyes. And you have to be careful because usually inner tubes and cat eyes, they don't like each other. It's not a good combination. Cat eyes, be aware of them, they're everywhere. By the way, I met this gentleman, table view, we are cycling together along Melkbos.
Guten Tag, wie geht's? Alles good?
Yeah. Friendly, the guys here just invited me for a ride on Saturday. See where I'm going. Be great. Number 3, boom, tires. Very important here in South Africa. Go for bigger tires, minimum 25, and I prefer a bit higher pressure, but obviously everybody's have different opinions. I usually go with 8 bars. That keeps me pretty safe and have hardly any punctures. I prefer as well inner tubes. I know the trend is tubular and tubeless, obviously some do as well. Yeah, inner tubes is for me the best. It's easy to change. Everybody's got an inner tube. It's without the milk mess. Then I highly recommend you invest in a good tire. Don't save a couple of pounds, euro, dollars. I usually go with a good Continental tire, and I tell you, hardly any punctures. Maybe, yeah, usually it always happens like you have 10 months you have no punctures and then you have 2 in one day. No, but honestly, good compound, chilly tire and you're safe. Because there are quite a lot of thorns around from the bushes, on the road, sometimes glass, a bit more than in Europe. And here again, number 3, get a good tire. Well, tip number 4 is look over your shoulder, always, constantly. Don't assume anything. That keeps you, that's really the secret weapon that keeps you safe from everybody. Look over your shoulder. when you turn, when you overpass, when you change directions, look over your shoulder. It takes you seconds, but it can save your life. Always look over your shoulder. I know sometimes it's annoying, but it's one thing you've got to do. Probably notice I'm cycling here up and down this beachfront, but hey, there are worse places. Tip number 5, trailers. Watch the trailers. They tend to be a bit longer than in Europe. They're oversized, they're longer. You assume the trailer passed, but it hasn't. So just make sure you're safe, then change directions, then do what you have to do. But watch the trailers, they can be tricky. Point number 7, protect yourself from the sun. No, especially from my friends from the UK. You have to use sun lotion here, sun cream, factor 30 or 50. I usually, for the face, I use a sunblock. When you go inland, when you go to the Karoo, when you go to the, here along the coast, it's not that hot. But you go inside, I tell you, you get burnt like mad. You need sun protection sleeves, good sunglasses, invest in a good pair of sunglasses. Just be very careful with the sun. Ultra strong. UV index here is anything 11, 12. Basically all year round. With the wind you don't feel it that much here along the coast, but first thing you do is, before you hop on your bike, put sun lotion on. So folks, get that cream on in the morning. Number 8, plan your routes. Before you go on a big ride, check out the area and the distance. Double check. South Africa is big, it's enormous, and you think on the map it looks small, and you cycle and you end up in a remote area, probably without water, no money. So just do your homework before you go on a ride. If you want to know anything about, just ask me, for example, or ask a local. Can I go there? How do I get there? Many apps out there can give you nice advice, from Strava to Komoot, Google Maps. So just make sure beforehand you know what you're getting into. Yeah. And sometimes it looks like a road, but you end up on a gravel road. So just do your planning. Tip number 9, get a SIM card, local one. You get them everywhere, from the airport to all Vodafone, MTN shops. You see them in every supermarket basically, or in a big mall you can buy them anywhere. It costs a couple of euros, pounds, dollars, and you can upload some data, and then you are, first of all, you save all the roaming charges, which can be quite enormous if you have for example, a European card. Download the Uber app, which I highly recommend. That means if you're stranded somewhere, whatever, you're running out of juice, you have no power anymore to go further, or whatever reason you can't continue your ride, you can call an Uber, especially in the bigger metropolitan areas like Cape Town, Johannesburg, etc. They pick you up for little money. Throw the bike in the boat and off you go. Or you can call your taxi, or you can call the hotel, or you can take some pictures and send it to your beloved ones back via WhatsApp. Tip number 10, take enough water with you. Use some electrolytes. Take some bars, gels. In the heat you sweat more, and if you don't feed your body constantly, you end up in a little problem later on, after 2-3 hours for sure. And then you need to call the guy from the Uber driver, bananas. I'm a big friend of a good old banana. Take 1 or 2 with you. A little tip as well when you go down to, or when you go to certain areas like Cape Peninsula, or if you go along the garden route, or you have many places actually in South Africa. There are many baboons, and when they see a banana sticking out of your jersey, I tell you, they will go after you. So hide your banana. That was tip number 10. Plenty of drink and food. Tip number 11. Take some cash with you. Not everywhere they accept credit cards or debit cards. Obviously it's good if you have one with you, but take some cash, and don't take euros or dollars or pounds or yen or whatever you have. Take some rand, South African local rand. That's the currency, and that's what you need to have if you go in a rural area. Otherwise they don't know what to do. Take some rand, usually whatever, 200 rand, which is like 12 euros, 10 quid, and you're fine for coffee, cake, etc. Number 12, safety card. A little card with all the information in case of emergency. Where you're staying, which hotel, which Airbnb, the contact person, contact number, your local number. That's what I say. Get a SIM card, and yeah, important. So people, in case something happens, they know what's going on, who you are. Additional to that, you can actually activate as well when you have a computer like my one. There are many other ones like Wahoo, Garmin, etc. They have a feature, live activity. So basically you're beloved. Let's say your wife is in the hotel and not bothered to go for a ride, rather prefers a good old spa treatment, and you are out on a long ride, and so she can track you. She sees where you are, how fast you're riding, all live. It's all free, but additional safety feature, she knows you are doing well and you're safe. So get that activated. Tip number 13, check out the wind. If you cycle along the coast, especially here in the Cape Peninsula area, the Cape Doctor can kick in, the southeastern wind, usually from November till April. It can be very strong, especially in the afternoon. Check out the weather report, how it's gonna be if you go down to the Cape of Good Hope. Always bring your wind jacket at all times. What I recommend is as well deep section wheels. Leave them at home, you don't need them here. If they're more than 40 millimeters, it can be tricky to cycling in certain areas. So my ones are 40, but that's maximum. Don't go any higher. So the big fancy triathlon 800 wheels you can leave back in your garage. Tip number 14, bring your camera, your mobile phone. That's what you do anyway, even when you cycle in Europe, but here even more so. Don't forget it. Make sure it's charged up. Bring a second battery, because sometimes you go in an area and all of a sudden wildlife appears, from the ostrich to the baboon, etc. So you don't want to miss those big shots. Yeah, camera, phone, GoPro, whatever. Record your trip, your once in a life beautiful cycling tour in South Africa. Get some footage. PS, if you cycle with me, I do that for you. I always record all the time. Tip number 15, the last tip from my side to make your cycle adventure in South Africa great. I always say, slow down when you go downhill. Speed up when you go uphill. Downhill, take it easy. That's my advice. Some go the opposite, downhill as fast as they can, and a pothole, and then a cat eye comes, and it's not ending well. uphill you can go as fast as you wish, as you can. That's where you gain actually the time. So bear that in mind. Downhill slow, uphill go fast. Guys, that's me done with the 15 tips. I hope you enjoyed the video. Would love to know what your suggestions are, how to make the dream cycling in South Africa even more enjoyable and more safe. Let me know, write it down in the comment section. By the way, don't forget to subscribe, share, like. 10 years of good luck to all of you if you do that. Thanks very much for watching. All the best, take care, and don't forget, keep on pedaling. See you somewhere on the road. Cheers, bye bye. Yes, time for coffee, South African brew.